Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. I am doing another day of Off the Board, and I have another pin that has inspired me to use a particular sheet of paper. So that pin, I think it is, I'm not actually sure what it's for. It's kind of like an architectural pin. It's for some kind of beach house, but I basically have a board for architecture, and it has like all kinds of interesting design ideas, not necessarily like, I don't know, designs, textures, walls, brickwork, masonry, that kind of stuff. So that's what board this is off of, and it inspired me to use that gray paper that's in the background there. It is a really thin sheet of paper, and it was not a full 12 by 12. I do not know where it came from, but I like the background design of it, so I decided to go ahead and use it. And you saw there I tried different kinds of colors behind it, white, kind of a turquoise teal color, and then this lime green, and the lime green is the one that won out. So that is the color I am going to put behind it to frame it. And I really like how this ends up looking. So it's a lime green paper. It is from Amy Tangerine's Brave and Bold, and the lines that are on it are in a dark turquoise kind of color. So I will be bringing both of those colors into the layout for my embellishment work. But in the meantime, I have these two photos of Noah, his dad, and his dad's dad. So it's 3 generations basically. And they're taken some time apart. I don't know if it's a full year, but something to that effect. So I also had this cut file in my stash, and I decided to cut it apart because while I like the cut file, I'm not really one to use complete backgrounds of words. So I cut it up, and it's going to end up saying amazing, awesome, super rad, fab, cool. So I take off the yay, unreal, and the seriously happy, epic portion of it. And that basically gives me the title for my layout, but it leaves me some open space down below without covering any of the words. And then I basically end up just tossing out the pieces that I cut into. So like seriously, I cut into the top of the S because the heart dipped down into it, the heart that I'm cutting right there. And then say with a couple of the other pieces because they were no longer complete cut files, but there was a couple that were complete that I was able to keep. And those will just go back into my stash. So then I cut some hearts out of that same green paper to back the hearts that are in the cut file. And at this point, I kept thinking, wow, I feel like I'm doing like a layout that is like tennis or something, because that color of that green reminded me of tennis, and I don't know what it was, but laying on top of the gray like that, it just made me think of like a tennis or something, but which is kind of funny. It has nothing to do with tennis, but that's what it reminded me of. So I just back the hearts. I don't back anything else on the cut file, and I am just doing that by tracing the inside of the heart, and then I am trimming a little larger than the tracing lines that I have created, and then I will go back and erase those lines that I've created with just a regular eraser. And that's a good way to do your cut files, unless your paper is not a good quality paper, because sometimes when you erase on top, it takes some of the tone of the paper with it. You'll end up seeing like eraser lines because like the color is not the same vibrancy, if that makes sense, hopefully. So another good way to do it would be to flip the cut file completely over, and the paper that I want to use, flip that over and trace on the back of the paper, and then you don't have anything to erase. Or you can trace on the outside of the heart and cut to the inside of the line, and that would also solve the problem. So then I decided to go through my green ephemera, and I pulled out a couple of pieces. I also went through my 3x4 and 4x6 cards, and I really like that one that says today, even though I had a couple of these others. I toyed with the one that had the pink on the bottom because it had the lime green at the top, but I didn't really like it. It was a little bit too busy for me. So this one that says today just works out perfectly. And underneath that teal writing, there is a little bit of green writing as well, so it matches really perfectly. And then I'm inking the whole thing up with Lime Ricky Catherine Pooler ink. And I had this ticket in my stash that I decided to go ahead and use. I am tucking the pink portion of it under the photo so you don't see any of the pink. I'm sticking with the teal and green, or dark turquoise and green, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not adding in any of that pink. And I did have to trim a little edge off because there was a pink edge on it as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick my photos down and start working on my embellishments. And I'm keeping this one pretty simple actually. So while I work on that, I'll tell you a little bit about off the board. This is a piece of washi tape that I stuck on there just for some added texture and layering. And then I'm going to play with some other Vicki Boutin embellishments and a few other things from my stash. So off the board is happening all month long. I've been playing along so far every day this month, so check out any of the videos on my past days for the month. Crystal Barrett started it. She is also doing a layout every single day, and she is over at Pineapple Papers, and so you can check her out. There's a bunch of other people that are playing along throughout the month, whether it be daily, weekly, or whenever they just have time. So you can check out the list down below in my description box to check out their channels and go over and give everyone a bit of love. We are using our Pinterest pins as inspiration for our layouts, and those pins do not have to be scrapbook related at all, so you might find some really interesting things. Okay, so the little tag that I stuck under the photo, it says "so sweet," and then I am popping these little puffy asterisks around the layout, and these are something that I don't use frequently. I have a hard time using them, and even here I was kind of struggling with where to place them. I probably could have put less on, but I wanted to get them used up, so you know what, they're all on there, and I think there's like 5 of them. 5, maybe 6, I don't know, 5. So yeah, I definitely wanted to get them used up, and I thought it brought in that other color really nicely, so that made me pretty happy. And then the little teal piece that is in the bottom right hand corner of the bottom right hand photo just says today on it as well. And then I stuck that piece of washi that was from Vicki Boutin right over where it says today, and you can kind of see through it, so you can still say that it says today, but it says life captured. So I thought that was perfect. I will leave the journaling spot open for my daughter to go in and journal about these 2 photos, or about their relationship, or the fact that there are 3 generations in those photos. It's really her choice, but I give her lots of ideas of things to go ahead and document. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.